Welcome to Low Country Spotlight. I'm your host, Margie Pizarro. We're so happy that you could be here with us today. November is National Epilepsy Awareness Month, and we have some special guests in the studio with us today. We have Miss Jessica Jordan, and we have her 9-year-old daughter, Evelyn Rose Hill Jordan. Now, Evelyn is a very special kid. She actually was diagnosed with epilepsy at the age of 4, and she and her family have been dealing with this illness and moving forward to not only help Evelyn with her condition, but also to help people in the community. So we want to start by welcoming you to Low Country Spotlight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here today. Now, Evelyn, you're in the 4th grade at what school?
Labs Elementary.
Okay. Now, tell us a little bit about epilepsy and about that condition and how it affects you.
It's like sometimes it's
A little difficult to explain sometimes, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I know that's why your mom is here today. Now, you are actually the SAFE representative, and SAFE stands for South Carolina Advocates for Epilepsy. Jessica, tell us a little bit about Evelyn's involvement and even about her diagnosis and treatment.
When she was 4, she was diagnosed with epilepsy. It was very unexpected. We had a perfectly healthy little girl up until that point. She had her first seizure February, and by April we had a full diagnosis.
Wow.
After a few years of dealing with her diagnosis, I actually inadvertently met Karen St. Marie through the Facebook pages that they have for the SAFE website, and so I met her and had talked to her, and we had discussed Evie and her diagnosis and her condition and what she had been through at that point. She had been diagnosed with juvenile epilepsy, so they weren't able to find triggers, things like that. Karen and I had talked quite a bit about how at that time Evie didn't want anybody to know. She was very much convinced that she was the only person in the world who had it.
Well, tell us a little bit about, right before her diagnosis, what were some of the symptoms? What were things that led you to know that there was something serious going on?
She actually didn't have any.
Wow.
She had no symptoms. She had actually had a checkup probably 3 weeks before she had her first seizure. I know. And then we went to the park one day and we were playing. I know, flashing lights. They can trigger that too. But yeah, we went to the park one day and we were at the park playing with her little brother, and we came home and everybody was perfectly fine. She asked for water. I walked into my kitchen, got water, came back, and she had hit the ground and started convulsing on the floor.
And that was the first indication that you had that anything was wrong?
Yes.
And I can imagine as a parent, you know, again, having a healthy child up until that point, and then seeing this, what thoughts went through your mind? What did you do?
I was terrified.
Yeah.
But
she called 911.
Yeah.
911.
Yeah.
Yes. No, the first response, I've dealt with seizures before, so it was kind of one of those things where luckily at least I knew what I was doing.
Right.
But we had to, of course, move her little brother out of the way. A good friend of ours, Ryan Whitaker, was there, and he was the one who actually called 911 while I kind of repositioned her, got everything out of the way, and just kind of sat there and talked with her and kind of stroked her head and hoped it would end very, very quickly.
Right, so that was when she was 4, so you got the diagnosis about 5 years ago. What have her symptoms been like, and what has her treatment been just over the last couple of years?
The first year was really hard. They went a lot of back and forth, a lot of testing, EEGs, many different hospital stays, trying to figure out not only where the seizures were coming from, but what was causing them.
Okay.
They've done blood workups, EEGs. She's done a couple different stays at the hospitals.
She wants to tell us a little bit too, but I know
you want to tell about Dr. Marks? Go ahead.
You have a favorite doctor.
Yes, Dr.
Okay.
Marks
Okay.
was the doctor that we dealt with when she was first diagnosed.
Okay.
He was with her up until this past December when he
And it was
relocated.
fun.
They-
Because we got to play games to see, we got to play the pinwheel, and I keep winning every time we play, and I keep winning.
So it's real important to have a good rapport with your doctor, because
Yes.
obviously her good relationship with Dr. Marks, I'm sure that contributed to her successful
and I missed
treatment.
him really much because he had to go
Yeah.
to Kentucky.
I think having that good relationship with your doctor made it a lot easier, especially because she was, I mean, every month it was 3 and 4 visits and a lot of back and forth, especially that first year in trial and error. We've gone through 5 different medications, trying to find one that worked and stuck.
So the medications are designed to actually control the seizures, stop the seizures. What are the medications
To
designed
control them as best as possible. I mean, there's no guarantee that.
We're gonna let
tell me.
Evelyn have her own show.
You get it. What do you got?
Tell us what you want to know. What you want us to know.
I wanted my mom what
I am
do.
telling about your pill.
Okay.
No.
Well, why don't you tell us?
You tell us about
what
your
about your
medications.
medication.
I take big medication.
Okay.
It's hard.
Is it hard to swallow sometimes?
No, well,
No.
sometimes.
Sometimes it is. Do you have to take it at school or do you just take it at home?
At home, one time I accidentally forgot to take it at home, so Mom brought it to school.
Okay. And it's real that's taking on a lot of responsibility because you have to make sure that you take that medicine so that you can control your symptoms and don't get sick. That's a big deal for a 9-year-old, isn't it? Now, I know your mom mentioned the fact that at one point you didn't want a lot of people at your school to know about your illness.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
It's because I thought maybe some people would make fun of me because that I have epilepsy and they don't. I thought they might make fun of me.
Do you think people would make fun if they didn't understand what was going on with you? Well, have you found that now that there's do people know now? Have you been able to tell some people? And how did that make you feel after you were able to tell them?
Did it make you feel good about yourself that you got to tell them?
Yeah, because sometimes when people don't understand, they have an opinion about it that is not always good. But then when you do tell them and you do explain it to them, that makes them feel a whole lot better. Now, you told your Girl Scout groups about your epilepsy too, didn't you? Now, how did you explain that to them?
That, well, I didn't explain it. Karen did.
Okay.
We went in like this little circle, and then we got like little brain erasers when she was done. And then one time when I went back to Girl Scouts, a girl made fun of me. And I wanted to get out of Girl Scouts, so the next time I didn't come.
Yeah, but I bet you feel a lot stronger now because when people know and people understand, they act a whole lot better about some things I've found. Now, we're almost out of time, but before we go, Jessica, I want you to talk a little bit about the Purple Rose Candle Company in our last minute.
Purple Rose Candle was a company that my husband and I founded in honor of our daughter and in honor of the SAFE Foundation. We created a natural soy-based candle with natural oils that was safe for people who have epilepsy and this neurological disorder because it can be triggered from anything, including scents and the things that are burned inside a candle. So we created this company not just to have something special for our family, but to raise awareness. With every candle that we have, we've got a line specifically for SAFE. They've done so much for us and been so amazing. I mean, they literally have kind of brought my daughter out of her shell.
Wow. Wow.
So everything they've done with that, we spotlighted SAFE. 10% of our proceeds are donated to SAFE every month. And we created a frankincense and myrrh SAFE line that's literally named for the foundation.
Wonderful.
That's specifically the frankincense and myrrh blend, which is made to help with epilepsy and things like that. So.
Good. Thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you so much, Evelyn, for coming to join us on Low Country Spotlight today. Go to our Facebook page and you can find out more about the Purple Rose Candle and you can purchase them and support epilepsy awareness. We'll see you when we get right back.